Hello, my name's Linda from Linda's Papercraft, and I'm joining in with the Silver to Silver Elite tutorial share. And this month we were doing fun folds, so I decided to do a joy fold. It's a Christmas card because I'm just finishing off Christmas in July, and so I thought, seeing as I'd done a joy fold for one of my classes, we might as well use that. So we have a cherry cobbler base, and this bit here makes it the joy fold, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to show you how to actually make the base, because that is probably the most complicated part, or it's not terribly complicated as ever with these things. They're quite simple once you know how, and they really are wow cards when they're finished. So I'm actually going to use my Simply Scored, and I am using the metric plate that comes with it because I work in metric. I'm in the UK, but the main reason I'm using it is because it has, I don't know if you can see there, can we get it? Yep, there we go, a 5.25 millimeter score line, which basically means it's going to score a metric A6 card front exactly in half. So it will fold back on itself, and you're not trying to sort of guess in between the 2 and the 3 where the 5.25 millimeter line is, because it's there for you. So when you've got your card in place, it's just after the 5 centimeters, and I'm just going to score down there. Now, because it's a Z fold and the folds go in different directions, I'm just going to turn that over before I score the 10.5, with the folds going different ways. Okay, so that done. Just pop that away. It is rather large, but it fits, you know, it's really useful to have. If you don't, then just score just sort of halfway between the 5.2 and 5.3 millimeter line on your trimmer. So, and then I can fold that back, just lightly burnish these folds. Okay, and there you can see it's exactly in half. Right, so all the measurements for all the bits are in your tutorial, so I've actually cut everything out, including the stampy bits. So just pop those over there, and I'll come to them in a minute. Oh, no, I won't. There we go. Right, so I'm going to sort of start from the front here, and I'm just going to stick this piece of DSP, and these two pieces, the measurements are in your tutorial, have come from the same piece of designer series paper, but you want them different ways. So I cut this one out first, which is 14.4 by 4.7 centimeters, and then I use the rest to cut this because the stripes are going the other way around. Okay, so I wanted the leaves going up on this, but the stripes going down on this one, so cut this one first. Right, and you'll have all the measurements in your printed tutorial that your demonstrator will have shared with you. Alright, so I'm just going to pop some glue on the back of here, and I'm going to stick it on the front. Okay. There we go, so it's just a very fine edge around, all the way around. And there we've got on the front, and then I'm just going to stick this, the DSP, onto this. This is from the Scalloped Contours die set, which is super pretty. You can cut the flowers out, but also it's got this set of frames that are all different but all layer. I always feel like I should be able to tear that middle bit out. It's like a perforation. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that on there. And that just lays nicely in the middle there. So, and then the next thing I'm going to glue it together, but of course you really don't want any glue on this side of here, but the card is going to be open and closed, so you want it to be fairly robust. So what I tend to do, I'm going to be putting it in the middle, so I've put it in the middle on the back, and I've closed the fold, and I'm just going to put glue along here. So, and you can see where to put it by where your frame is. So I'm just putting glue just on the back there. And then you need glue on this side of your rectangle. So doing this, you're not going to get any glue on the side you don't want, but your piece is going to be nicely fixed. And then centering up again, don't press it down until you're happy. And the nice thing about the liquid glue is it does give you a bit of wriggle room. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It should be in the middle of that one. So I'm just lining up the line in the middle. So the original fold is lined up at the middle there. So there we go. So we've got the joy fold, and there's no glue on here, but this bit is really well fixed. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could actually glue that bit down so it just opens like that, but I quite like that it opens like this. Okay, there we go. So the next thing we need to do is we need to stamp our sentiment on here. So this goes there, and you want to make sure that your sentiment is hidden by this piece. So I just put it here. Don't glue it down yet, because if you make a boo-boo, then you're going to have to cover it up with something, whereas if it's not glued down and you make a boo-boo, it's fine. So, and I'm just going to use, because you can just do it again. So I'm just popping it on a D block. It is bigger than it needs to be. And then I'm just going to ink that up with my Sahara sand. And I've just re-inked my Sahara sand, so it is quite dark, so I'm just stamping off there and then stamping in the middle but below the line of the flap from the joy fold. So there we go, that's nice and pale. Just wipe that ink off and then get my sentiments. So what are we going to use? You don't want anything too long, because you don't want it to show, and you must remember when you're writing the card as well that you also don't want it to be too long. So, and then so I'm going to put the wishing you a joyful Christmas and Happy New Year. So I've always wondered why a lot of Stampin' Up stamps don't have and a Happy New Year with the Christmas stamps, but they celebrate it separately in America, so that's probably why, whereas we tend to just do one card for both, they'll do 2 different ones. Okay, so just going to pop that off there and pop it on my grid line to get it straight. Put the sentiment on straight, and I'm just going to stamp that across there, so like that, so you can read that even with the star there. It just jazzes up the inside a little bit, and that just needs gluing on the back. When you're using the Tombow multi-purpose glue, always store it on its side, because if you stand it up on the flat end, all the glue goes down to that end, and we need it at the pointy end, unless you're going to use the flat end, of course. Right, just popping that on there. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp Noel. And this is from the Hippo Happiness dies. They have so many dies. There's so many label dies in that set. And I think it's because it was actually designed, a demonstrator, one of the million sellers helped to design it, and I think she was thinking of us and put loads of different shapes. So I think it's 3 different shapes and each one's got 3 or 4 different sizes. So it's a really nice set to have. And also it cuts out all the hippos and unicorns as well, and we all need those. So I'm just going to stamp that in the middle there. Oh, I'm quite pleased that I'm slightly off because my camera's in the way. I always worry when I'm stamping that it's all over the place, but that's quite good. Quite happy with that. Okay, and then I put this up on dimensionals, and what I did was I put dimensionals, so it's going to go that way up, and I put dimensionals on the curved bits because then I could slide the fronds underneath and put them where I want them. So we just do that. I am a bit of a dimensional girl, so I do tend to use quite a few. Do you think if you're going to put it through the post, you want it to come out as you intended, not completely squished? So there we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Don't you find the covers of these all over the house? Okay, so I'm just going to pop that in the middle, roughly. Okay, and then I've cut out, so I've stamped and cut 2 of everything apart from the bow. So there's 2 little leaves, 2 of the fronds. So they're in Evening Evergreen. These are in Sahara Sand. And then I've got 2 that I've cut out, the longer ones that I've cut out from the gold. And then just 1 bow. So I'm going to fix the bow on first. I'm just going to put glue on the left hand loop because I want it overhanging. So just popping some glue on there and just putting it there. And then you can arrange your leaves and fronds however you want. Yeah, when you've got it lying down, don't leave the lid off. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the edge of the frond and pop that sort of sticking out here to this side. And then I'm going to use, where's this one? This one. Coming a bit further over there. I'm just going to shut the door because my husband's come home. Sorry about that. It's been out running. And then I am going to trim this off because it is very long. So, scissors. I'm just going to trim the edge off this. And you can see I'm sliding things down between the dimensionals. So, and again, a little bit of glue just on the end there. And then I put that sort of towards the middle. There we go. And then do the same on the other side. So, a little bit on the leaves. And obviously you've got your bow as well to finish things off on this side. A little bit of a frond. I don't know whether this is supposed to be buds. I have actually seen somebody, there is a little die that comes with this set that are called Set Little Circles, and somebody has actually put little circles on there, red circles, so it's like a collection of berries, which I thought was rather nice. Just get rid of that. Pop some glue on here. There we go. And I'm just going to pop that underneath everything and then just glue it down. If you want to go in with your bone, oops, don't move it first. You want to go in with your bone folder first as well, rather. Tied up. There we go. So I'm just going to slide that in and glue it down. It just fixes everything in place without you having to press on the top there. And there you go. So there's your joy fold. You've plenty of space to write your sentiment there. If you're worried about overrunning or you have a lot to say, then just pop another piece on the back and you can write it there. But I'm really pleased with that. I think anybody would love to receive that, and it's thin enough to post, which is always good. Right, so I look forward to seeing you all next month for September's tutorial, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. And as I say, this is Linda from Linda's Papercraft. I hope to see you soon. Bye.